Yo, joining me today. Well, he's from New York, but he's in LA right now. Most Likely, what up?
What's good, Brody? We about to go crazy.
Yeah, man, what's popping? I know we got a big year ahead for you, and I'm excited. We have a new single out now, No More Tears, super dope record. I'm loving it, bro. That joint is hard.
I appreciate it.
But before we get into that, you know what I'm saying? I want to get like what I like to do on the show. I like to get a little history about you to introduce you to the people who don't know you. So, tell me where you come from, how you kind of got started in this whole music industry.
Sure. I'm actually from upstate New York, and my mom's from upstate New York. My dad's from Brooklyn, so I've been pretty much up and down New York my whole life. So I just read that I'm from New York State. I've been in the Bronx for years, fucking Albany for years. So I just feel like I'm everywhere. But New York had like an emptiness to it when it came to like a sound. You know what I mean? So like there for a while when I was starting to make music, there was no New York sound. So like, I thought I could be it, you know what I'm saying? And I gave it a shot. And I think, 4 or 5 years later, looking back at it when I was 17 starting, but it really just kind of transformed into meeting new people and having fun. Like music is what I live for. So I started way back probably like 2017 making music, releasing them probably 2019. And then, I found a good team probably like a year ago and starting to really take off. So, it's just been a really organic thing. And, being from New York, you know how it is, bro. Music's in our blood.
That's a fact. And you kind of like touch a lot of different genres with your music. You have a few records out now. Before this interview, we were talking about some records that aren't on DSPs anymore, but you had like a little drill, you had some melodic, you had a little this, you had a little that. When it came to like which styles that you really kind of gravitated towards and worked on, for you, how did you kind of like decide? You know what I'm saying? Because you've done a lot of different things. How did you kind of try to figure out what sound worked best for you? And like, do you feel like you're at a point where you kind of like know, this is the sound that I'm gonna roll with, and this is what I'm gonna do from now on?
I think what's crazy is as of recent, I think I've started to really hone in on what my sound is. I'd say for probably like the last year, maybe two, it's been a juggle of like, trying to figure out like what sound I like on my artist side. And then I'm a songwriter too. So, it's always every week, hey, let's try to work on a record for, depending on what producer I'm with, for X, Y, Z, different, artists. So it was always like kind of hard to. I feel like I was working against myself in some ways.
Okay.
But as of recent, we're really starting to get an album mode, put together like, really good projects. So I think that, what helped the most was when I got out to LA, I got to be around like the producers who make the actual beats that I love. Like I got on with like Hitmaker, OG Parker, and then made some connects. People like Forever Friday, I was a huge fan.
Right.
So like being around the sounds that I really gravitated towards had me like Then at that point it wasn't working against myself. I'm in the room with Hitmaker. That's the music I like to make anyways. So it's like boom. So I think that just as of recent, I've kind of really started to figure out that like that, the alternative, new, dark R&B, you know what I mean? It's always been in me, but I think that, that's the way for me for sure.
Do you feel like you had to go to LA to discover that, to really figure it out and like be like, all right, this is what I want to do?
For sure. I actually stayed in Atlanta for like, it's like 7 months. Okay. I was working with everybody and I was doing a lot of rap stuff there. And I really honed in on like, my skills there. But, when I got to LA and really recently got into like more album mode and like crunching down who we're working with, it just kind of became apparent. I just started to make the same type of records over and over again. Not the same type of records, but, same genre.
Similar, yeah.
Yeah. And, it just kind of happened organically. But I'll tell you what, LA helped a lot. And, in New York, it's hard to, especially when you go in saying, oh, I want to be the new sound in New York, like I was as a crazy 16-year-old. But, it's tough. But coming out to LA, yeah, man, it was just something just clicked,
Nah, facts. I like that because, we were talking about your little move from New York to LA before the interview. Was that like your biggest influence to go out there?
Well, what do you mean?
Like to make that move, to kind of, do you feel like you just needed to kind of a change of scenery? Because sometimes when you get stuck in the New Yorkness of everything, artists could get a little stuck in the circle of I guess New York music.
No, that's a fact. I get what you're saying. I think I think that for me it was like when I got out of New York, it wasn't because of like some like a writer's block or anything like that, or like trying to find a new sound. It was more like um situations with people I used to work with or live with, all sorts of stuff. It was a bunch of like life stuff. And then songwriting just kind of came out of nowhere. It became like a really, really big part of what we're doing. So, you know, we started sending records out, having a lot of success, working with a lot of people. And then we made a trip out to LA. I got in the studio with Hitmaker for the first time, YK Osiris, Lil Tjay. Like it was like a really humbling experience, but also at the same time being like, yo, how could you not be here? You know what I mean? If this is what you can do when you get to LA, if this is what the music you can make when you're with the people that are here, like it was just like a really spur of the moment thing. I was living in Atlanta before, but you know, we came out here for a week, got in with a lot of the people that I work with a lot now. And then it was like, I just, let's do it. You know what I mean? Flip the switch. I think maybe a week went by and I was in a new city, all in a new apartment, everything. It's crazy.
You mentioned the songwriting. So when did you I mean, obviously you were writing songs before the actual, like, I guess, job of songwriting came about for you, but how did that kind of situation start? You know what I'm saying? Like, when did you like realize that it was like, oh, I could do this for other people and I can send these records out and people fuck with them?
Right. You know what's crazy is it happened actually out of nowhere. I was sending records, like we were doing our label, you know, going to the office and meeting with people, all that. But I found this random ass A&R, right? And he was promising the world, right? And he was like, I get this record to this person, this person, this person. And I was like, damn, like, if you can do it, bro,
if you
go
can
ahead,
do it.
man. And I just sent them the catalog, you know what I mean? And then maybe a month, two goes by. You know, he's telling me, you know, this person likes this person likes this. You might be able to help this, you know, do this. And hits me like 2 months later, like, yo, I think I just got you a placement. Like, I think I just got you one. And I was like, what? And then from there, it just kind of snowballed. We signed a publishing deal with APG, and it's not really new news, but a little exclusive, I guess. And from there, like, I've been working with Mike Karen, Matt McFarlane, just trying to figure out like who needs records. Like I got them. I got 400, 500 records. So, you know what I mean? It just kind of became like it wasn't too much of a stretch. You know what I mean? We had records, different genres, you know what I mean? So, but shout out, I don't want to call him a random A&R. His name's AJ Camara. That dude is a legend. He gave me my first little chance. So yeah, it was just kind of natural, and EPG took over, and now we're going crazy.
Are you allowed to talk about some of the people you wrote for? Like, how does that work? Are you allowed to say some things? Or
well, I can tell you who I'm like working with, you know what I mean? But I can't, all the records that I got, because I'm such a new songwriter, new to this, is like they're either coming out really soon, and then, you know, day of, I'll say what's up.
Then you'll get to be like, oh, I had a hand in this. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's been a long time coming. We got a lot of records on the way, but, you know, a lot of them are with APG artists. So it's like, you know, it's a lot of love over in that building. And, but now we're starting to, like, I'm working with Hitmaker. I just worked with him on a bunch of records. We got some of them placed already. Like, it's just, it's a whirlwind. You know what I mean? Like when I got to LA, it's just a lot. It's just work. And, you know, but yeah, I can't, I'll tell you what, there's one coming out, maybe, what's today, 7th that we're doing this. So probably this month, I'm pretty sure there's one coming out. So look out for that.
That's kind of cool. You said you mentioned TJ and YK, right? With them, right. Did you just kind of meet them, or was that also kind of like a writing situation or friendship or whatnot?
You know what's crazy is they kind of crashed my session. That the day I met them, they just kind of crashed my session. I had a session with Hitmaker that day, and I was so pumped. It was the first time I met him. It was that LA trip, and we walk in and YK Osiris isn't there. I go to the bathroom. I come back out. YK Osiris is there. I met him the night before. YK is one of, you know, he's awesome. Like, I've been working with him for a while too. We got a couple of records in it. So he just shows up. He's like, yo, bro, what you doing today? I'm trying to get some records in, blah, blah, blah. Takes over the whole session. TJ shows up. Because Q, my manager, who you know, they're family. So like, you know, TJ's really close with him. So he told him, hey, it's popping over here, pull up. He pulled up, and then it really just became a party. I would love to work with TJ in the future. You know what I'm saying? We got plans too. It's just, you know, we got a lot of work we got to do. Like it's a whole new run. You know what I mean?
Right. But, it's just a matter of time type situation.
Yeah. And they just took over the session and it became a party. So it was kind of a blur. That night kind of sealed my fate into coming into LA though, because it was like Q was like, hey, tonight's gonna be a movie and every night could be like this. You know what I'm saying? So pull up and here we are.
That's dope. And you mentioned your relationship with Hitmaker. You mentioned it a few times. How did that kind of first begin between the two of y'all? How did y'all meet?
That LA trip was all actually spawned around like he reached out to my publisher, who's his publisher too. He's with APG, or at least he was. I'm not sure. And they reached out and they were like, "Yo, we want to work." And we got in, made a bunch of records, and since then, you know, he showed a lot of love. And I've been to maybe 2 of the camps that he's gotten going now, or he's had going, you know, this year. And the way that they move records, the way that they make records, it was like
crazy.
It was, bro. I got to be a fly in the wall for the first couple hours of like the last camp because there were some big names in there doing some crazy stuff. And I was able to be like a fly on the wall. And I remember going home, you know, that night, made maybe 1-2 records. Most people would be like, damn, I was at camp for a long time. I only made 2 records. I was sitting there like, nah, like, yo, what? You see what these motherfuckers doing? They getting all the sauce. So
you're like taking notes. You're like, oh, this is how they did this. I bet I'm gonna do this. All right, cool.
And you know what's crazy about that is this whole Hitmaker is probably like my favorite producer ever. And I told him when I met him about this story that I had with my manager and my other manager, Mike. When I signed to him, we were on the way to Saks Fifth Ave. And we're in an Uber, in the back of the Uber. He goes, yo, who would you want to executive produce like the album? Like maybe not your debut, but the album. I'm like, all right. And he started naming names. He's saying, you know, a bunch of people that are in my sound, like Legends, 40, you know, people like these just Hit Boy saying random names.
Just kind of getting like seeing what you feeling.
Yeah. And I was like, bro, Hitmaker. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. You know. And he's like, you're right. Year and a half later, I get that call and he's like, yo, they want you out in LA for a weekend. And then 2 weeks later, they want you out here for a weekend. And bro, I'm super grateful for it because the way they make records is insane. It's insane, bro.
So, you know, as we talk about making records and what you got coming up, so No More Tears dropped in January. And then you know, we spoke a little bit before the interview about how you had some old joints, but you know, you're trying to do some new clean slate stuff, get some new records out, trying to figure out, you know, what really works and what doesn't. So for you kind of going forward and off that record, what do you feel like it is like the next logical step for you?
Well, we're gonna put out 2 or 3 really undeniable joints. Like we've had these records in the cut for 2 years and we were really just waiting for like the right time to put them out. And the right time is now. We're about to go crazy all summer. Like we got videos coming, we got shoots planned, we got shows, live shows. We about to go nuts. Like we've really just been waiting for a time to press the button. Starts, you know, stuff starting to open. So like, bro, this year is about to be nuts. I got a record called Tell coming out 2 weeks from today if everything is on pace. But definitely this month, and you know, I'm so excited about it. I've been holding on to this one since like 2019. It's probably like maybe one of the first 20 songs I ever made, and we just been making it better and making it better and making it better over time. So, you know, I'm really excited about that for sure.
Man, I'm excited for that. And so obviously we got a project on the way because, you know, we were talking a little bit about the debut project or like the project. When do you think we can expect a project from you?
I guess it really just comes down to how these next 2 records do, but we're planning this year for sure, whether it be this fall or this summer, bro. If one of these records go off, like we're ready. Like we got maybe 1-2 records to finish. So like, you know, it's done. It's just a matter of picking what records fit, what don't, you know what I mean? So definitely this year, at the latest, probably. Like, I love dropping in September. That's my month. So, um, you know, probably around
September
that.
is your shit. You like it's right before the
Yeah,
fall, you
yeah, bro.
know.
I take over September, man. And you know what's crazy is I remember there used to be another artist that did that, and they used to take over the entirety of September. I don't even remember who it was. I think it might be The Weeknd.
Weekend's more like
But
October. No, well, Drake's October. Weekend's more like
yeah,
November, I feel like.
I remember seeing one artist. I don't even remember what it was. They just took over the month of September, and I was like, man, next September I'm gonna just
Do
take
the
over.
same shit.
I'm gonna do the same shit. Like, yo, that's crazy. And I did it one summer, or one September, and I think that's where like my biggest record came from. So, you know, I haven't really given it a lot of thought, but shit, maybe September.
That would be
For
dope.
sure.
That would be dope. So we got a few more singles on the way. We got the project on the way. You gonna do some more visuals too?
For sure. You know what's crazy is the only visual I've ever done was Heat Check, and that'll
I
come down
know.
this week. That's gonna come down off YouTube this week.
Oh, you're gonna take it down this
But
week.
yeah, we're really starting like clean slate. Like, we're gonna put a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of resources, a lot of favors on these next couple ones, and we, like, I think it's time. Like, we're really pushing our,
What do you mean
pushing
by
our own button.
favors?
Like, you know, I've written for a lot of people now. You know, there might be time for it to swing a feature my way. You know what I mean? Stuff like that, or you know.
I really wish you could go a little bit more in depth about these because I feel like you're
Yeah,
talking
I
about some
know.
crazy people, but like I don't want to like push that button.
Right. Well, I can tell you about some people that I definitely got. Selly Paper.
Okay.
He's not a big name, but he's my brother. And
Hey, you were on his. He was the one that you were on his project, correct?
yeah. He's
on 10.
He's got a crazy story to tell, and I've known him for feels like forever. It hasn't been, but he's like a brother, and he's gonna be up and down my project for sure. I'll be up and down his project. We got a couple records that we're, you know, deciding to choose from for my project with like Forever Friday. But we got a lot of big name features, like, but it's just a matter of, you know, it's the business, man. It might be this project, might be the next project, might, you know, money might come into play. I'm still a new artist, so it's hard maneuvering as a songwriter, being in the rooms and, you know, holding on to features and trying to play everything right. But I have a lot of faith in my team, and they usually put me in the right direction. So, you know, whatever we can do with this project, like, it's gonna go crazy regardless.
Nah, I'm excited. This is all very exciting. You know, I also want to ask the transition from like artist to songwriter. Is that for you? Was that like a hard transition, or was that kind of very seamless for you? Was it just kind of did it just come natural? I forgot to ask that before, but I wanted to get your thought on it. And have you ever? Oh no, wait, go ahead. Answer that, and then I got something else about that.
I got you. Well, I think that for me it was like no difference, because the way I made music was always like the same. I kind of modeled it after, like, saw Tory Lanez go live one day, and I saw how he recorded. Right. He got a song done in like 20 minutes, and I was like, bro, I can do that. Come on, like if that's how we set it up, like I could do that. Like if that's how we writing records now, I got it. And it changed my life. So from there, I probably did that for like a year, really honed in on, like, you know, making records that are quality and efficient, but like also my workflow getting better. And then, you know, but those are things that they try to teach you as a songwriter to do, you know, record at home, you know, mix your own records, get references, you know what I mean? And I really just learned how to do all that stuff on my own before that. So it was like a seamless transition into like, the only thing that changed was I had people that, you know, were willing to like vouch for me. You know what I mean? Whether it be Mike Karen or my A&R Matt or my managers or, you know, now artists that I'm working with. That's really the only difference. But, you know, I love that out here people are just willing to work. Like in LA, like you could just end up at somebody crib and you might end up on the biggest record of the world. You know what I'm saying? And it's all love out here. So this move has been, I love it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, look, I'm really excited for everything we have coming next. The new singles, the project, hopefully the features and all that. Before we sign off for the day, though, is there anything else that the people got to be on the lookout for from you this year?
Shit. This year, for sure. It's just I got to think about it. I got a little merch thing that's gonna be insane. Some stuff that not a lot of people usually be selling. Some really like, you know, I'll make my merch some designer shit and partner up with like a little company, and that's coming when the project comes. So, you know, if you like jackets, like whether it be a bubble jacket, varsity jacket, like we gonna hook it up. It's not gonna say most likely, of course. So we gonna make that shit, you know,
make it look crazy.
Have like an M on it or something. You know what I'm saying? We're still in the process of designing them, but like the quality of all the stuff, it's like, yo, it's about to be. We're just trying to make it, you know, the best thing possible for the fans. And like I do this thing called the focus group, that if you sign up, you know, like with your email, your phone number, you get like early access to all that shit. So whether it be music, you get music like 2 weeks early. So they'll get the new record next week. And, you know, they'll get merch and stuff like that. But, you know, it's all coming. So just if you see in this interview, you'll probably see me next week. I'm telling you, like, we going crazy. We going crazy. Everybody's going to know who Most Likely is by the end of 2021. Promise.
Well, look, I'm excited for all this. I'm excited to see all this come to fruition. Let the people know where they can follow you at. Any last messages you got for them out there? Obviously, you just dropped in. You just already plugged everything up. But throw your ads in there. Anything else you got for them? Sure. Go ahead, and now's the time to do it.
I got you. Yeah, it's just at Most Likely on everything. No T, MosLikley. I think on Twitter it's Most Likely 2 TO at the end. But yeah, if I got the OG everything. MosLikely.com, you'll find this interview will be on there. Once it's uploaded, everything will be on there. So yeah, we gotta go crazy. I'm telling you, 2 weeks. What's today? The 7th? Yeah, 2 weeks. Tell's coming out, and you could just put the carpet down because we got the rollout. I'm telling you.
Well, there you have it. Make sure you go follow him. Keep it locked. New singles on the way. New project eventually on the way. Plus many, many more things to come from Most Likely in 2021. Until next time, appreciate you, bro. Most Likely on the radar, baby.
Appreciate it, buddy.